Hey guys, it's Austin with Pickleball Playbook, and in this video I'm going to be breaking down how you can prepare for a tournament so that you can go into it absolutely confident in not only your physical skills but also your mental skills and your strategic game. So be sure to stick around because these tips and these routines that I like to follow have helped me to make it to the 5.5 level. Topic number one to cover is the physical aspect of a tournament. So my training for a tournament starts months before, and what I like to do is make sure that I am drilling at least twice a week. A lot of players will go in and just play tons and tons of rec and have a ton of fun, but you're not improving quite as fast or even nearly as fast if you're just doing rec games. So something that you absolutely need to implement is making sure that you are getting in drilling sessions, either with a partner, a wall, or a ball machine, and you're putting in those hours of hard work working on your weaknesses, working on refining your strengths, and putting yourself in game-like situations as you're drilling so that you can feel that tournament-like pressure. And I've had loads of people message me and say that they want to drill, but they're not sure which drills to do. And that's why I invented the Pickleball Drills app. Hundreds of drills to help you improve, regardless of whatever it is that you want to work on. And also I get messages about, oh, well, I don't have a partner to drill with. And that's why there's ball machine drills on there, and there's also wall drills, so you don't have those excuses anymore. So if you want fun games and drills to do, download the app. I will link it in the description of this video under Pickleball Drills app. Now this brings us to the actual week of the tournament, and on the week of the tournament, I like to follow a specific routine. For this instance, we're acting like the tournament is on Friday. So coming in Monday, I like to hit it hard with drills, specifically focusing on refining my weaknesses. So my current weakness right now is definitely my two-handed backhand dink, and that's what I've been working on a lot. And so on the Monday, I'm gonna focus on that two-handed backhand dink primarily. And this drilling session is gonna last anywhere from an hour to 2 hours. And then on Tuesday, I'm coming in and I'm gonna warm up that weakness really, really well so that I feel confident in it. And then the entire rest of my training session, I'm just gonna focus on my all-around game. I'm gonna try to hit every single shot as many times as I possibly can within that 2-hour time span. Now this brings us to Wednesday, and on Wednesday I like to call it the strengths day. This is the day that I'm focused on my strengths, and my strengths for me is my forehand, anything on my forehand side. So I'm going to be running around my backhand to hit forehands, really working on my footwork, because when you get into a tournament, you're not going to be focused on working on your weaknesses at all. You're just primarily going to be focused on building upon your strengths and making sure that your strengths are at their peak. So Wednesday, since it's closer to the tournament, I'm not exactly neglecting my weaknesses, but I am way more focused on my strengths because that's ultimately going to help me to win the tournament. Now, since Friday is the day of the tournament, on Thursday, I kind of want to take the day off and relax because when I go into tournament day, it's going to be a big, huge, long day, especially if I plan to win the tournament, which hopefully you do. Now on Thursday, it's completely fine if you want to go play some rec games just casually, but you just don't want to be moving your feet too much because you don't want to cause that fatigue. Now the most important thing is that you need to be extremely hydrated on Thursday. So Thursday night comes, you want to get as many electrolytes as you can in your system so that when you sweat the next day, you have those replenished instantly. So it's preventative rather than trying to drink electrolytes throughout the day, which you should do as well. But if you can prevent you from getting dehydrated prior to it actually happening, it's going to pay dividends in the long run. Now we're on to Friday, the tournament day. And the most important part about the tournament day is that we get warmed up. We want to get a good solid warm up, not just our motions, but our feet. And so I suggest a dynamic warm up, and I'm going to take you guys through that right now. So the most important thing with a stretching warm up routine is that you're doing a dynamic stretch and not a static stretch. A static stretch would be, I come down and I'm holding it on my toes. A dynamic stretch would be, I kick up and I touch my toe. So it's giving me that stretch and then it's releasing. This is gonna be best and optimal for when you're about to work out, which when you're at tournament, plan to work out the entire day on and off. So I'll typically go from sideline to sideline and back with the same stretch. For this purpose, I'm just gonna show you guys as I go across from sideline to sideline. And look who's joining me, the cat. So these are toe touches. It's gonna stretch the back of your quads right here in between on the backside of your knee. So you want to do these as you come across. Remember, we're keeping it dynamic. We're not trying to hold anything. And then I'm going to stretch that same exact thing by doing scoop the water. So for scoop the water, we want to keep our front leg straight as we come through. Straight. That one feels so good. So it's stretching that same spot, plus it goes down a little bit lower, down your calf a little bit. Then I'm gonna move on to the hip area and top of the quads. And that's through lunges. And the most important part about this, we want to feel the stretch here as well as here. And the best way to do that is to twist. And this is actually going to be similar to hitting a backhand as we come through the ball, especially a two-handed backhand. And then on this side, similar to hitting a forehand as we come over the ball. But this is going to really open up those hips. You aren't going to have any back problems or back pain by doing this stretch, because it's going to stretch out your psoas muscle that's around here somewhere. I'm not a sports whatever it's called, but I do know a lot about the psoas. So we're stretching, moving back and forth. And then remember, I would be going from sideline to sideline and back. Okay, next one that we want to implement is we want to get those calves fired up. So we're just going to do hop skips as we come through. That's going to help to activate those calves. That's the only one that I'll go back and forth a few times rather than just once. And then we finish off by opening up our arms and our chest. So I'm opening here, opening that chest up and opening those shoulders. And then I'm going to do forward rolls and then backward rolls on my way back. So this isn't really, this specific one as I'm going forward isn't going to be what your stroke is, because you don't windmill an overhead or a topspin. You actually go back and then forward in order to create that topspin. But you want to stretch it both ways, because that's going to help you to help warm up those shoulders how they should be. So then I'm going back, and this is going to be a lot more similar to what you're actually going to be doing in your tournament. So most important thing, just make sure that it's a dynamic warm up and you'll do great. Okay, that brings us to our next topic, which is the most important of all other topics, which is the mental aspect, the mental game. Because you can get into a tournament, be totally physically there, but stressed out mentally, and you're gonna do absolutely horrible. I don't have the time in this video to break down all the specifics. There's actually 10 specific things that I have found in all of my research and things that I have implemented in playing in tournaments that have actually worked. But I don't have time in this video to break down. But I want to give you guys one little golden nugget for this video, and then I can redirect you guys to our podcast where we cover those 10 things. I'll be sure to link it in the description. What that golden nugget is in the Olympics, I don't know which year, but one of the interviewers was asking all the Olympians the same question. And for this question, he was getting the same exact answer. And what that question was is he would ask them prior to them doing whatever it was that they were doing, whether it was the javelin or they were gonna run or they were gonna swim or dive, whatever it was. He would ask them, are you nervous? And without a doubt, every single Olympian and every single champion answered, no, I'm not nervous, I'm excited. And Simon Sinek broke it down best by saying, when we're nervous, we have sweaty palms, we feel a bit anxious, we feel apprehensive of what's about to happen. And when we're excited, we get sweaty palms, we feel a little bit anxious, and we're excited and apprehensive about what's about to happen. So it's the same exact feeling, but it's just how you frame it. Just implementing that will greatly improve your mental game if you can just go into it. And whenever you feel like those words coming into your mind, oh man, I'm nervous, reframe it and just say, I'm excited. I'm really excited for this tournament. You'll play so much looser and so much better. So that's one golden nugget. Remember, link in the description. You're gonna wanna hear those 10 tips. Okay, that brings us to topic number 3, and this is an extremely important topic to implement in order to win, and that is strategy. So what I specifically like to do is I like to write down 5 strategies that I'm gonna use throughout the tournament day so that I can block off that mental side and just focus on whatever that strategy is. I'm not worried about any mental things. I'm not worried about any physical things. I'm only worried about what that strategy is for that point. So then I'm going into each point with a game plan. Now, the most important thing with this is when you write down these 5 strategies, you need to visualize yourself playing out those strategies and winning those strategies. You need to visualize anything that could happen. Maybe they'll Ernie the ball and you're gonna defend that Ernie. Maybe they'll hit an overhead and you're gonna defend the overhead. Maybe they'll pop the ball up and you're gonna hit an overhead to finish the point. But you need to close your eyes and visualize and take 15 to 30 minutes to visualize each of those 5 strategies. This will be an absolute game changer for you guys. I can promise you that. And the reason that I know that is because I have implemented it in all of the tournaments that I have won. And I've won over 10 5-0 tournaments, and I recently won a 5.5 level tournament or semi-pro tournament so I promise that I know what I'm talking about. And I want you guys to know that I'm not saying that so that you guys feel like I'm cool or something. I'm just saying that so that you know that I'm a reliable source, because there's a huge difference between me and a 4.0, but there's also a huge difference between me and the best in the world like Ben Johns.